Good day to my fellow Swaligans. First and foremost, I would like to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for bringing us all safely through this storm. However, the impact of this storm has revealed that some individuals and businesses underestimated the severity and did not take the proper precautionary measures to protect themselves. This situation highlights the importance of the 5 Ps. Proper planning prevents poor performance. This was my first experience in my capacity as Minister of TEATT, handling the measures for a storm, and I paid close attention to every detail. Last night, I personally reached out to key stakeholders in the maritime and hotel industry, as well as our 2 main ports of entry, the airport and the harbor, to gather an assessment of their experience during the storm. Today, I am here to provide a report and update on the outcomes of our ministries or within our ministries' purviews. I have been in direct contact with all major marinas, and I'm pleased to report that none of them experienced any damages. Ile de Sol, Skyport, and Port de Plaisance all had yachts docked during the storm, but thankfully, everything remained secured and there were no incidents to report. Similarly, all went well with no hiccups at most of our major hotel properties and guest houses. Preliminary reports from JW Marriott, Hilton, Simpson Bay Resort, Oyster Bay, DV Little Bay, Princess Heights, Carl's & Sons, Sonesta Maho, Holland House all indicate that all guests are safe, and although more were stranded because of the closure of the airport, or most of them were stranded because of the closure of the airport. And speaking of the Princess Juliana International Airport, it was of course closed due to the approaching of the storm, but it was scheduled to reopen this morning at 7 a.m. The closure impacted 40 flights, leaving approximately 1,250 passengers stranded. Fortunately, there are no reports of damage except for some of the arrival tents left outside. This serves as a clear example of the importance of the 5 Ps and a reminder not to underestimate the severity of storms like these. Regarding the harbor, initial assessments indicate that no infrastructural damage was made to the port. However, management has reported some minor cosmetic damages to the trees and shrubs, as well as 4 vinyl covers used to the temporary home porting building. They were already aware of the wear and tear of these covers and had ordered the replacements months ago, which are already underway. See the difference? The financial impact and the financial assessments from the harbor are still to be carried out, but according to management, gratefully, the financial impact is not expected to be significant, and the cruise call will be welcome this coming Friday as well. I joined the management of Port of St. Martin in applauding the heroic actions of the maritime staff who answered to the call to assist in the rescue mission of the vessel MV Island Scout that was in distress during the passage of the storm. They worked in collaboration with the Maritime Affairs team to rescue 4 people from the vessel. With regards to the cargo, while sea conditions remain unfavorable, it can be assumed that the cargo operations will still be interrupted throughout today. The maritime manager is providing updates every 4 hours that can be shared with key stakeholders in anticipation of the resumption of the cargo insurance. And the earliest times, as soon as we get a feasible time that it can reopen, it will be announced. On a more somber note, my heart goes out to the vendors of the marketplace who was actually destroyed by the storm this morning. Most of the tents were destroyed. This morning, first thing, I toured the marketplace and was saddened to see the extent of the damage. We are already in the process of relocating the vendors to the pavilion, which was scheduled to be erected at the old administration building 2 days ago. Unfortunately, the storm caused some delays, pushing back our timeline. The original plan was to break ground for the new market construction yesterday, but this will now take place next week. We aim to relocate all the vendors by this coming Saturday. On a more positive note, I am pleased to share that I've had a productive telephone conversation this morning with my counterpart, Minister Cooper in Curaçao, early this morning. We may have reached a consensus on allowing Wayne Air to increase its flights. Through a verbal reciprocal agreement, we found a middle ground. Minister Cooper is currently reviewing my proposal to extend the deadline to April 1st, 2025, which would allow and provide both Wayne Air and Z Air the opportunity to run holiday promotions. For St. Martin, it is essential that FAA agrees to allow Curaçao to oversee Z Air's U.S. registration planes. Once we receive a positive response from the FAA, the date will be lifted. This morning, I sent a letter to Minister Cooper to reaffirm our discussions, and I'll await his decision on my proposal. And just a word of caution to all business owners with wooden billboards around the island. Most of you did not adhere to the call to take down these structures. This time around, I want to especially caution those with the billboards near the Princess Juliana International Airport. No action has been taken yet, but if God forbid anything happens to our beloved airport, please be aware that you will be held completely responsible for the damage at that airport. We simply cannot afford more setbacks with our airport. Remember the 5 Ps and prepare for what could happen if a hurricane strikes. I would like to end this message by saying, as we approach the peak of the hurricane season, it's natural to feel a mix of emotions and concern, uncertainty, and perhaps even fear. But remember, our community is strong, it's resilient and prepared, and we always prepared. We've weathered storms outside of this many times before, and we will again. And now is the time to take proactive steps to ensure our safety and the safety of our loved ones. Make sure your emergency kits are ready. Review your evacuation plans and stay informed through reliable sources. Check on your neighbor, especially those who may need extra help. Together, we can face whatever comes our way. While we cannot control the weather, we can control how we respond to it. Let's support each other, stay positive, and face this season with attentiveness. Thank you.